Sometimes an environmental weapon is exactly the right thing to use to end the threat. Hi everyone, this is John with today's active self-protection lesson out of England. Here we're going to see a clerk who's confronted with a knife-wielding armed robber. He's going to do a couple of things in the beginning that aren't so great, but it's going to end well for him. So we're going to learn important lessons here about using environmental weapons, about waiting for your opportunity, and about stopping the threat no matter what. Just another day in the convenience store here, and you can see this clerk is just, he's ringing a guy up like normal, and I don't see the guy doing a whole lot until he pulls a knife out of his pocket there and asks for what's in the till. And you can see the clerk kind of like, oh man, what am I going to do here? And you saw he almost reached for the knife there, but instead he's kind of trying to get in there until he decides to reach out and grab the guy's hand with the knife on it, but over the counter, it doesn't work. The guy's able to get him off him with the leveraging arm there. And so now our clerk is like, okay, man, I don't really want any problems. And thankfully, this guy's not a murderer. He's just a thief. And so he wants what's in the till. While the guy's futzing around with it, he grabs a tape dispenser and busts him over the head. And that disorients the guy enough that he's had enough and he walks out and it's over just that fast. Okay, let's think about some lessons out of this one. I think there are several. First of all, everything's normal until the knife comes out. This guy didn't have a whole lot of pre-attack cues. He pulls this knife out here and he's threatening with it. This is an intimidation tool. He's like, look, give me what's in the till and nobody gets hurt. And if you don't have attitude, skills, and plan, compliance is always an option here. If you just want to, okay, man, here, take what's in the till and I don't want any problems, that's totally fine. But the clerk here is still thinking, and I actually really like that he's thinking because he's trying to find an opportunity to launch a counter ambush. Now, as we see him get after it here and go for it, I want to talk about two challenges. Number one, he's reaching across the counter. So he has a leverage disadvantage because he can't get into the guy. Notice the clerk's arms are long and the robber's arms are short. Normally, short arms win when it comes to a disarm attempt. If you get on the mat and you try it again and again, one of the things that you'll notice is whoever's arms are shortest generally has the most leverage, is generally going to be winning in this kind of instance. Secondly, he has a hold of the hand, but not the rest of him, and so the bad guy here is able to use the leveraging arm to get him off him. Now, thankfully here, he doesn't want to hurt the clerk, and so he could have just gone after the guy at that point, but thankfully he didn't. And so now you notice our clerk here has his hands out like this, and he's using this in kind of a submissive posture. Hey man, I don't want any problems, I'm sorry, whatever. And the guy just wants what's in the till. So we can see here that he's not committed to violence, he's just threatening violence. And that gives the clerk another opportunity. So he looks for an environmental weapon here in order to gain an advantage, and he grabs this big old heavy tape dispenser. Now, the only thing I'm going to say about this here is that when he hits him with it the first time, I'd really strongly recommend, if you're going to go at him with everything you have, go at him hard. Don't hit him once, hit him 8 times with it. Now, it works for the clerk here because this guy's not committed, but it may not have worked. So if you're going to get after him hard. It's a good hard conk in the head, and so thankfully the guy runs off. Notice that our clerk grabs a hold of that beer or whatever it was to have something else to throw at the guy. But you better have a plan for if it doesn't knock him out. Thankfully, this clerk did enough here, and the bad guy wasn't committed to hurting him, and so it worked out okay. But recognize that when you go to defend yourself, if you piss off an armed robber, he might go after you. So instead, I'd recommend if you're going to go with everything you have to cover your ass.